Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 124 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every week, and I let you know everything you need to know about every single issue. So I've got 5 different issues here in total. I've got 4 from Marvel, 1 from Image Comics that I'll show at the end, so yeah, I'll just get right into it. Not a huge week, but we've got some really big releases. So from Marvel, Immortal, Thor #1, right? We've been looking forward to this for a little while now. Anyone who's read Immortal Hulk, I assume most people like that. That was a pretty famous run. I got all the tie-ins for that and everything, so I'm really excited for this because it's by the same writer, Al Ewing, right? This is like a big oversized issue. This costs $7, but I think you get like 40 pages, so it's like a double-sized issue. And it follows like the same format that the Immortal Hulk series followed, where there's like a quote that kind of sets up what's going to happen in the issue, and then the final page is like a splash page that gives you kind of the title for the issue, which a lot of the times is connected to the story and everything. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's the immortal treatment, right? Both of the characters are kind of immortal, so Al Ewing is doing the same thing with Thor. He's never written a Thor ongoing series before, so we'll see what he does with this and how he's going to be able to pick up the pieces from Donny Cates' run, which kind of ended in a disaster. I don't know if you guys heard about how Donny Cates apparently like got in a car crash and lost his memory. I was just reading an article about him speaking publicly for the first time. And I don't know, I feel like it's been a year since that happened, so I guess now we know, but I hope he's able to recover soon and write more stuff because, it's been a while. But that gives a reason for Al Ewing to be writing this book, I guess. We'll see how it is. It should be pretty big, and I'm expecting some kind of universe-changing stuff for Thor. I mean, Immortal Hulk really did a lot for that character, and that set up a lot of Hulk stuff for the future. So we'll see about this. That's Immortal Thor #1. Next up, though, this is another one that I'm honestly equally excited for. I don't know how many people are getting this. I don't know if this is on anybody's radar, honestly, but I've been looking forward to it since they announced it. It's Marvel Unleashed #1. So this is like kind of the replacement for what would be a Pet Avengers title, right? I don't know why they didn't just call it that, but I used to be a really big Pet Avengers fan as a kid. Actually, I think the most popular video on this channel is a video that I recorded with my mom talking about Pet Avengers and recapping that. So if you're interested in watching an old bad video, you can watch that if you're getting ready to read this. But they're just calling it Marvel Unleashed, but it's like the same roster as the original Pet Avengers team from that series that came out in like the early 2000s. It looks like Kraven the Hunter is involved here, but we've also got some new additions like Bats the Ghost Dog and Kate Bishop's dog. So it's kind of like a more modern take on Pet Avengers, right? I'm liking the artwork here, though. It looks kind of like Nick Klein's art style, so that's interesting. I don't think I've ever read anything by this artist. The writer here, though, is Kyle Starks, who also writes the Peacemaker Tries Hard comic right now, and that one's really funny. So I feel like he's well suited for like a Pet Avengers type book. So I've been looking forward to this. I think it's just 4 issues, and we'll see how it is. Definitely, that's up my alley. They wrote that for me. But next up, we've got Moon Knight City of the Dead #2. So they're calling this Moon Knight's event tie-in comic. It's not really that connected to what's going on in the main Moon Knight story. But that issue #25, the oversized anniversary one of the ongoing Moon Knight story, set up this one. So you kind of have to read that first. And this is set in the City of the Dead, right? It's like the city of non-living people where there's all these different gods within Moon Knight's whole side of the Marvel universe. I don't think this realm has been explored too much, so it's definitely interesting. It just has to do with Moon Knight going about his past and meeting Layla again, who was in that Moon Knight show, but now they're adapting her to the comics because it's kind of how things go these days, I guess. Even though the comics were supposed to inspire the show, so that's whatever. But yeah, so I mean, the first issue is really good, honestly. Kind of a different writing style than the main Moon Knight ongoing, but it's a good addition. So I recommend picking up both because that's my favorite Marvel title right now. There's a couple more pages of artwork. Artwork is pretty similar, honestly, to the main run in a lot of ways. I think it might be the same colorist or something, but that's a recommendation from me so far. Next up, I think this is actually the last issue of the series. I was realizing that I haven't seen any more solicitations for this comic in the future. There wasn't any sort of goodbye letter in the back here, but I saw that it said the end, so I do assume this is the last issue of Deadpool, right? So this is #10. It's Alyssa Wong's Deadpool run. I was hoping this would go longer than 10 issues. I think the last Deadpool run by Kelly Thompson also only lasted 10 issues, so I don't know what it is with Deadpool these days. I guess he's just fated to not have very long comic runs. Maybe just not as popular these days as he was when he had movies coming out, and I bet they'll relaunch with a new creative team and probably put some big names on that when Deadpool 3 comes out in a couple years, whenever that's going to be. This has been pretty good so far, though. Like I said, I thought Alyssa Wong had a way better run than Kelly Thompson did. She characterized Deadpool really well and set up this whole group of assassins that went after him across the whole title, and he got involved in a love interest and everything. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. I mean, I thought this would go longer, but we'll see if there's any sort of revival of this series at any point, or if they're going to relaunch Deadpool. There'll probably be news about that soon, but that's number 10 with Fall of X tie-in, I guess, because it's an X-Men title. I don't know, that's really random. I doubt it actually ties in. The last issue I picked up, though, like I said, we got one from Image Comics. This one is Big Game number 2 of 5, so this is not something I'm very well knowledged on. I honestly picked up the first issue as kind of a shot in the dark because I have not read like any of the Mark Millar stuff at Image, because the idea behind this book is that Big Game is like the culmination of all of these different characters and sides of this universe that Mark Millar has been putting together over the years. With like Hit Girl and Kick Ass and like the more recent titles like Ambassadors and Nightclub and stuff, which I've read a little bit of those, are all coming together in this like crossover event where Pepe Larraz does the artwork. So somehow Mark Millar was able to pay him enough to get off of like X-Men titles at Marvel, so I thought that'd be worth picking up. The premise is just that there's like this supervillain group that's so powerful that they're able to just wipe out all superheroes or all types of superhumans on Earth. And they're supposed to have already done it in the 1980s, but then since then there's been more and more superheroes trickling onto Earth, like the Nightclub and stuff. So now they're assembling again to take down everyone. So it's just like kind of a worldwide event across all these different groups that Mark Millar has written in the past. And although I hadn't read any of the characters, I don't know who like Nemesis is or who probably a lot of the characters that have had focuses. I don't even know their deals at all. So for someone that's read that stuff, it's probably even better. But I still liked it. I mean, really great artwork, of course, and I thought the writing was pretty well done. So those were all the issues I picked up for New Comic Book Day. Nothing crazy this week, like issues-wise. I don't have too much to read, but I'm really looking forward to Immortal, Thor, and of course Marvel Unleashed. Let me know if you're picking that up. I'm actually really curious if any of you guys are grabbing that one down in the comment section below. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. We're getting close to the 600 subscriber milestone. That's about it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.